Welcome back to another episode of Best Wedding Vendors in Jamaica. Today we are here with Damian Austin, also known as Ozzy. Ozzy here is a wedding officiant slash MC. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man, of course.
How long have you been in this line of work?
I've been in this line of work since, officially since 2011. I've been doing it from as far back as I can remember because I started off as a wedding singer.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2011, I decided to pursue, becoming a marriage officer. And that was when On-Call Weddings Jamaica was formed in 2011. So my first wedding was September 11, 2011.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been doing it for quite some time. Yeah, man. I've been doing it for quite some time. So this year would mark 13 years
Awesome.
officially.
Nice.
Yeah, long serving in the space, not too bad.
How you're liking the job?
Loving it. I mean, this is my passion. I do it flawlessly. I do it effortlessly. I mean, it's like breathing. So when you can do something effortless, you do something you were born to do.
Great. Do you specialize in any specific type of weddings?
All legal wedding types in Jamaica can be covered by On-Call Weddings Jamaica. So we're predominantly a Christian country. So majority of the weddings are religious.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are a number of weddings that occur within the hotel space that are non-religious, or as we call them, civil weddings.
Right.
In weddings of this nature, there are no heavy mention of a deity or a creator, as we would call it. And so you don't go in speaking in tongues or wetting up with holy water kind of thing. You say the vows, they sign their paperwork, and they're gone. And the couple is subject to whatever wedding type they want. So we're not at liberty of deciding, we can choose to or not to. So as long as it's a wedding that's legal in Jamaica, On-Call Weddings can cover that.
Nice, great,
Yeah, man,
awesome.
easy.
Can you tell me about a situation occurring in a wedding where you had to adapt quickly to changes?
I could almost say this is at almost every wedding. Because weddings are, but particularly for me, I'm more of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm a very relaxed officiant and also a very engaging host or MC. So there has been numerous occasions where things might not go according to plan. It could be a change of location where you have to adapt to the new setup, or could be just a change of the program last minute due to someone either not showing up or having to fill in for someone. And then a couple of things is the business is on call. So sometimes when people call you to replace a minister, you go in and things are not properly planned. And so you have to go in and make things flow the way that they're supposed to. So I've had that a number of times. And as usual, we execute because we become the wedding, we become a part of the wedding. Right. So when you're in the moment, things naturally flow. If it is that you have to move things around. And then for me, because I have extensive experience in the field. If you hand me a timeline and I see things not going according to plan, I generally automatically put a plan in place in my head and then I execute. So I don't have to come back to the plan and say, hey, should we? I automatically fill things in where they're supposed to, unless I'm under strict rules.
That's actually a good thing to be able to do in this line of work.
Because it's needed.
Yes.
Things change all the while. I'll give you an example. We had a wedding when the hurricane was passing the other day, during the storm. And of course, the sea was rough. It was raining outside. It was an outdoor wedding. And so the planners had to now relocate to a much smaller space. And of course, things like standing in place or positioning yourself such that the photography can be done appropriately, or even just realigning the program. Because, for example, in that case, The reception had to be held in a very compressed space. So dancing and how do you get them to position themselves to make sure bouquet toss couldn't be done there. So and I just had a plan in my mind. I come into a venue, I scout the area. So anything that happens, I'm mentally prepared for it. Because as a host, you're really not only responsible for reading the script, you're responsible for making the event flow.
Right.
And so when you walk into a space, you have to analyze the entire space. You have to analyze the people. You know, how well are they adapting? Another thing that can change for you at an event is that you can go in with high expectations of your audience and then them flop on you.
That's true.
And if you're not a good host, you're going to get dry throat. And instantly you get dry throat, you get jitters, you get the butterflies, and your brain starts saying, what the hell am I going to do now? For example, you walk into audience and they seem excited, and then you try to crack a random joke and they don't laugh. What do you do? You know what I mean? So little things like that can throw you a curveball, and you have to be quick on your feet to come up with the next innovative way to engage, because that's what hosting is.
Right.
It's an engagement.
It
you know,
is.
it's getting in people's faces, feeling like a part of your audience, and making the event flow.
Yeah. I agree.
That's it.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
All right. So, what would you say truly makes a wedding ceremony memorable for the couple and their guests?
All right. So I'd say there are a number of factors that makes a wedding ceremony memorable, but all factors considered will play a part in making it memorable. And I'll start from probably the least to the greatest. So you start from the ambience, you start from the look and the feel based on how intimate the decorators put the place together. Because, I mean, it can be all over the place, to be honest with you, or it can be very well patterned and decorated in such a way that just walking into the space gives you a feeling of intimacy. And that has happened. You know, candles, the flowers, the colors. It can't just be too blah. It can't be too, I don't want to use the word ghetto, but it can't be too ghetto. It can't just all over the place. You have to be nicely placed. Things are aligned. And so the aesthetics is
symmetrical.
That is the first thing. So when you walk into the space, you get a feeling of calm, of peace, like serenity. That's the first thing.
The decor.
Yeah, and then the second thing is while the ceremony is happening is the ambience of the audience. How pleasant are they? And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. But as an officiant, I pay attention to that because you don't really want a bunch of tough faced people in your ceremony, and I'm like, hey. So I do things and I use verbiage to interact in a ceremony. It's kind of unorthodox because the minister is supposed to just carry out the ceremony and then be done. But me, I do community validation. I let them give back a commitment to the couple to support them.
Right.
And I run little jokes like if they're quarreling and they come to your yard, send them back home, go work it out. And I do little things like that. And then of course, for the people who when we talk about the people who want to have it like close knit, vows are very important.
Right.
We have the traditional vows, which they say after the minister, and then you also have the personal vows. Personal vows increases the ambience because it's more intimate. So they're sharing things about themselves, with each other, and saying personal stuff that can either be extremely intimate or also have a point of humor, like I promise that you watch football on Sundays. Little things like that makes it. And then the verbiage from me is also important, and how the verbiage is brought across. So I have to speak well. It has to be smooth and well delivered, and the tone of voice, and not too much patois. And so all of those things contributing together will make the event very memorable. For me, I go very far. So I color coordinate. Like the wedding I did today, blue, navy blue.
That's right.
So when I'm doing my consultation with my couples, it's a weird question, but I find that a lot of couples like the fact that the aesthetics.
Right.
So you don't want the minister standing up there in a bright purple suit and everybody else not khaki. It's just not gonna work. So I try to color coordinate. So the aesthetics is one, the ambience is two, people three, and then the vowels and the verbiage. Those four things will definitely make the ceremony work.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Always memorable when those things are aligned.
I agree. All right, Ozzy. So, how do you manage to be entertaining while keeping the formalities of the wedding?
All right, so you're talking no, not to the minister side of me. You're talking to my other personality. In the wedding space, they'll tell you I have two personalities. There's a very buttoned up minister, and then there's Ozzy the MC, who can be crazy and over the top. But let me tell you, maintaining formality and elegance, because I tell people we're always classy, not trashy.
Right.
Right? No care how what's the word I'm looking for? Cares not how raunchy the wedding gets. As the host, your job is to maintain a certain level of classiness.
Right.
Right? So it's depicted in how you carry yourself, how you present the items, how you allow the event to flow, and never going too far off script where the raunchiness is now being looked down upon.
Right.
So I'll give you a tip. You're an upcoming MC.
Right.
The minds of 90% of the people that go to a wedding is raunchy.
Really?
But they don't display it because that's private and personal to every individual.
Of course.
So you have to find a way to use verbiage that will make them think what you want them to think. And so now you've captured their minds. You see, so hosting is psychological for me because it's getting into the minds of the people. So for example, you don't want to say anything that's too far overboard, and even if you're thinking it, you never want to say it.
Right.
What you want to do is imply it. So for example, they're cutting the cake, and you would say, I want you to place the knife on the cake, and I want you to slowly push it in. You're talking about pushing the knife into the cake. But I bet you if you say that, your audience is going to be ooh. Exactly. So I do little things like that, which is all implied. It's suggestive. That's the word. I use suggestive language, and I say it very calmly and very professionally, but the audience mind will take care of the classiness. They'll take care of, because you don't want to go and say, oh, you're about the cake. And no, because then you're going to look at you like, who's this guy?
Right.
Or, you can also choose what to say depending on the audience type that you have. Because as a host, you have to adjust to meet your audience.
Right.
So if you have an audience that's a little bit on the raunchy side, you don't want to come off too raunchy and say like, broke out and no, you don't want to do that. You want to use suggestive language that will let them do the thinking, and they will enjoy their own thoughts because you never said it.
Right.
You get a concept?
Yes.
So you don't have to say, oh, something rude. You can say, like, if I'm doing a destination wedding, choice of words are important because destination weddings don't necessarily relate to Jamaican verbiage.
Right.
So when a Jamaican audience, you can say, push the knife in the cake, and then when they push it in, you ask them, push it until you can push no more. And when it reached the bottom, you say it buck no, and you're talking about the knife. But the audience is like, they're dying because it's suggestive.
This is called a garter. Let me tell you what a garter is. It is something that comes up the bride and goes on her. Look at this. I'm not sure. Instagram, look at his face. Oh my God. So here we are. Your job is to put it on the maid of honor, right? And she does not have a boyfriend. Make this count. What happens in Belfield stays in Belfield. DJ, are you ready? Oh, watch this. Hey! Oh Lord. Oh! No? What's up?
You wouldn't do that with a destination audience because they won't relate to stuff like that. And then if you ever do a destination wedding and there are kids involved, then that's a PG wedding. So you don't allow audiences to do too much kissing or too much adult stuff, because they're going to be mindful of the fact that kids are in the audience. So all those things playing in your head as a host, you should be able to maneuver with activities that will keep the guests entertained but not raunchy. And I have like 1,000 games. I build them on the spot. So, I soon need to get a copyright for my games, because you see people doing like the Jamaican dance class. I created that. You know what I mean? And I can't dance. Don't ask me how I do it. But I can show you a video probably 9 years ago, 8, 9 years ago, and that time I could only do bogle and Pandy rap on the bank and signal the plane. But I had the white folks dancing like crazy.
Now we go with that. Right, everybody know. Everybody know. Watch yourself. Watch it. Watch it.
So you try to do various interactive activities, and you have to choose when to do them so it does not seem confusing. So every wedding has high moments, low moments, and then you always end on a high note. So if you can transition through those in a classy way where it's not confusing, people are enjoying themselves, they're participating, and it's nothing over the top. Classy you have. You have classy. So yes, that's how we do it.
Awesome. How do you coordinate with the DJ, event planner, other vendors in the wedding venue to ensure that the guests have a great time?
It's a good question. You've been asking some really nice questions. This is a free trade session between us. Free consultation. So let me tell you, ensuring the guests have a good time is almost solely your responsibility. You have the mic.
Right.
You're in charge,
Of
right?
course.
You coordinate. All right, so let me give you a scenario. When someone books on-call weddings Jamaica, be it a planner or someone that's a freelance, or someone found us online, or marketing strategy, whatever the case may be. After booking and we've secured the day, we do a consultation. Consultation in some cases includes just the bride and groom, as well as sometimes the consultation includes the bride, the groom, the DJ, and the wedding planner. So then we do a full run through of the day's activities, which now allows us to all be on the same page as to what happens next. There are some planners who have very short timeline for review for consultation. There's some planners who have 20 or 30 odd pages of a production time. A production timeline involves every aspect of the wedding, line by line, from the wake up down to the wake up call, 6 o'clock in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, makeup, hair, etc., etc., etc. When it gets to the alignment, DJ has his song requests, what plays where, and then the MC now has to align himself with the couple, the DJ, and song choices and the flow. So in those consultation meetings, we all get aligned. And then when you get to the actual wedding, you now go back to the DJ and just you run your checks and balances. Make sure that they have Damien and Natasha in the same line versus Damien and Keisha. Because if it's Damien and Keisha and you say Damien and Natasha, you've blundered.
Right.
You never want to blunder, right? You want to have a no fail rate when you're hosting. So I could easily say I have a no fail rate. And if I blunder, it's not my fault. Somebody put something wrong last minute, or they changed something and they didn't consult with me. But normally, to avoid this, you get with the DJ and you kind of make sure your flow and their flow are in complete alignment. So it's all about coordination,
Right.
and then staying on point. You can't miss a beat when you're hosting, because anything that you do that flop, you throw the entire event off. So you have to be on point, on your game. I'm an entertainer naturally, and I think if I tried, I could be a good comedian.
Yeah.
But I
think so too.
I use real life scenarios. So I think you've seen me host maybe one time.
One time.
So I get into people's faces. So I ask, like, if I say make some noise, and I see the audience, woo, and I see one person not screaming, I'm the type of MC that I'm gonna walk over and say, so why aren't you screaming? Yeah. So and I ask the bride, you invite her here not to scream, and I get in people's faces. So
Right.
then they automatically are gonna participate because they don't want MC coming and calling them out. And I tell them I already got paid, so you better do what you came here to do.
Right.
And so that's the vibe. So generally, coordination, to wholeheartedly answer the question, coordination makes the event flow as smoothly as possible. You're not just the host, you're actually holding a very heavy piece of the rest of their lives. They're going to watch that video for the rest of their lives. And I'll tell you, I have couples 10 years ago who still call and say, oh, I'm watching video of it. Because, I sing.
Right.
So I get to throw that little talent piece in there unexpectedly. And because I have a deep voice, people don't expect me to sing at the levels that I sing. So when I start singing, most time they think I'm miming.
I may hear the do re mi.
No, I'm not do it. Not on this do re mi fa. I'll make love to you like you want me to. And I hold you tight, baby, all through tonight. Hey, like you want me to. And I will not let go till you tell me to. Yeah. Well, the idea is just to be yourself. You know what I mean? Don't try to be anybody else. You are uniquely you, and that's what's gonna set you apart. That's what has set me apart. There's only one Aussie in Jamaica.
That's right.
In the world. And I host internationally. So if I go Florida, if I go Atlanta, if I go wherever, one Aussie. And I come out being myself. Authentically, nothing else, no put on, I'm not trying to be nobody. I'm not trying to do any style. I have my own unique style. If anybody a copy, let them copy me. My name Ozzy. I've been doing this. And so I say that proudly, but not with any negative pride. Just that I bask in the fact that I've been able to work my way to becoming one of Jamaica's top wedding MCs.
Nice.
And anywhere you go in Jamaica, any one of the venues, any one of the planners, the name Encore Weddings will come up because I've created an atmosphere where people can feel like they're being dealt with professionally. I show up on time.
Right.
I execute. And so by extension, that has been my mantra. So yeah, I think I've given enough to drive you into the success that you're gonna have. I've seen you with the microphone. You do very well.
Thank you very much.
For you as a wedding host, you want to just be authentically yourself.
Right.
Right? And then weddings, everything geared towards the wedding. And you just make it flow. Just make it flow. And if you have it in you, which I know you do, you will go far.
Thank you very much.
Very far.
Is there any other services that you provide?
Well, Encore Weddings is, I won't say we're a full-fledged, we're primarily an efficient and MC service business. So we offer efficient services for all legal wedding types. Elopements, we do a lot of those. So if someone decides that they want to get married at home, or they want to get married around the backyard, or they want to do it on a boat, or in a tree, or wherever, Encore Weddings facilitates those weddings. We take care of all the paperwork. We also do all wedding document filing. So for people who want to get married on their own, but they want to have the paperwork done independently, so they don't have to go through the hassle of, I can't remember, like the government institutions to file for licensing, and we take care of those for them. Pre and post wedding. We also do pre and post marital counseling. Number of couples under our belt that we've counseled over the years successfully. We do domestic violence counseling as well. I'm a trained domestic violence advocate. So, say no to violence against women and against men. Because you have women out there who beat men.
That's
so,
true.
Why does it seem like you're triggering so much? But I hope good. So, yes. And in addition to that, we do associate services, which means if someone comes to us and they want a DJ, a violinist, I saw you had Saxy Henry's, my dream, that. We've been playing at weddings. If you go to my Facebook, we can go as far back as like 2000 and maybe 12, 13. So when I just started, he's been out there blowing his saxophone, and he and I would do John B and Babyface songs together. So associate services would be if someone comes and say, hey, we want a saxophonist. And we just find a saxophonist for them, and we host it under our umbrella. We do violinists, cello. We're this big. I think this is a cello. Keyboard, pianists. That kind of thing. We've provided chorales before. Like 15 people. Ooh, that kind of thing.
Nice. And it's Christmas time now, so
yeah. And then we host. Both. We do corporate events. We do birthdays. The safe birthday parties.
Safe birthday.
And I say safe because of who I am. So I cannot indulge in the ones that are a little bit over the top.
Right.
For the safe. So I say safely, the baby showers, we do sweet 16s because those are generally safe. And we do like the 50s, the 60s, 40, 50, 60, grown people stuff, right?
Yes.
And then what else do we do? Corporate events, I host for a number of corporate entities, both locally and, they'll fly me out to the Caribbean to host their awards ceremonies. I've done the hotels, Grand Palladium, Sandals, you name it. So I think in a nutshell, that's an overview of the services that we provide. And I would say we're best in class for primary services.
Okay.
You rarely find an officiant as smooth and as current as I am.
Nice.
And I say that confidently.
That's good.
So yes, so that's it. On-call weddings.
Nice. And what are your payment options in terms of online banking? So you do checks, and what is like your deposit rates?
All right. So payment options for right now, destination folks, they asked a lot about like Zelle and online methods. We don't really have any of those US bank type solutions anymore. I had one and it was fraudulently tainted. Yes.
Gotcha.
So I stick to bank transfers. We don't necessarily like to do cash payments because it's very tacky to collect money, especially when people don't pay you up front and they want to pay you on the wedding day. I don't collect money on the wedding day. It's tacky.
Right.
I don't do that. So you pay in advance to secure a date, 60% down, and the 40% at least 2 weeks before the event. In the event that you're booking us last minute and your wedding is within a week, 2 weeks, then you're expected to pay up front.
Right.
And we generally supply you with a contract. And upon signing the contract, you automatically generate an invoice for yourself. And it has all the banking details. And then you're required to make your deposit or your payment to a bank account, send us proof. At that juncture, you're placed on our calendars, and then you're automatically set up for a consultation, after which we execute the event. So that's our standard operating procedures.
Nice.
SOP. Yes.
Very good. Very good. All right, Ozzy, it was nice meeting you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once more, this is Damian Austin from On Call Weddings. Speaking of which, Jamaica. Yeah. How do we find you? What's your phone number and IG?
On Call Weddings, JA. You can Google it. Right, you'll find our contact 876-475-2269. We're Instagram. What's that popular one now? TikTok. Facebook, and our website. We had On-Call Weddings Jamaica, and that was hacked. So I had the opportunity to buy oncallweddings.com. And so now that website is under construction. So now the website is going to be oncallweddings.com. So when I matriculate into the United States and Canada and the UK, it's oncallweddings.com. Alright, I can say On-Call Weddings worldwide.com. I have a dream, I have a dream. Like Martin Luther King, right? So yes, so you can find us there on any social media platform, as well as through email oncallweddings@gmail.com or phone number 475-2269. And you can WhatsApp, of course, as well.
Okay. All right, guys, once more, the lovely Damian Austin. This is Kimmy, your wedding concierge, signing out.
Peace.